Firstly, good morning all and welcome to Move Ahead Media's AdWords seminar. My name is Tony Hooton and I'm one of the directors and co-founders. Here with me today is my business partner, Martin Phim, Adam Beeson, who's our sales director in Thailand, Daniel Bean, who's head of our AdWords and social media, and also 5 of our campaign and account managers, Stuart, Anand, Tom, Root, and Anthony. This is our first seminar we have put together, and our aim is to run these every 2 months, and the purpose is to give knowledge back with the expertise that we have. A little bit of background of Move Ahead Media. We were established 7 years ago here in Bangkok, and we have offices in Asok, which is just down the road, and also in Sydney, Australia. We started off as an SEO company back in 2010, and as the industry has evolved, we have become a full-service digital marketing company offering SEO, AdWords, Facebook, LinkedIn advertising, web design and other services to help drive our clients' online advertising forwards and ultimately deliver results. Things that we'll be covering today are what is AdWords and different marketing services under AdWords, which will be presented by Tom, a video of how to set up a basic AdWords campaign. You will also receive a copy of this at the end of the seminar. Common mistakes when setting up an AdWords campaign, which will be presented by Daniel. There'll be a Q&As, and there are some predefined questions, and we will have an additional 5 to 10 minutes for other questions at the end of the seminar, which will be presented by Martin and also Danny. Before I pass you across to Tom, I want to assure you today is not a sales pitch. Many seminars, networking events are put together, and then before you know it, you are being pitched the services of the host company. That isn't going to happen today. This event has been put together so you can actually take knowledge away with you. We hope you enjoy it, and with that, I'll pass you over to Tom.
My role today is to give you a brief overview of Google AdWords. So Google AdWords is a service to expose your business to more customers. Imagine seeing your business on the front page of a tabloid newspaper. How much would that be worth to you in today's market? I know you will have heard of many other names for Google AdWords: PPC, CPC, and paid ads. Luckily, Google AdWords is not one-dimensional. There is no one-size-fits-all. Luckily, there are many other services. These comprise of some of them that you can see on the screen: paid search, display marketing, and Google Shopping. Any one of these can be fitted to your strategy. First of all, paid search. This is the most common used part of Google AdWords. This is where you can use targeted keywords for your customers. They are always related to what your customers will be searching for. How do you get to the top of page 1? Well, Google AdWords works on an auction basis. You will bid against your competitors to be in position 1, as you can see on the slide there. After this presentation, we will be giving you a video on the auction process. Display advertising is also a very important part of any marketing strategy. The GDN, or Google Display Network, has 2 million websites or 500,000 app placements where your company could be placed. This is also like paid search, which also can be targeted to your customers. Here is an example of a display ad. Circled in the red there is the image, which can be up to 15 different sizes, which are always predefined when you're setting up a campaign. Boston.com is on the Google Display Network, and this is why the company has chosen to be placed on there. So remarketing. Have you ever been onto a website, looked at a product or a hotel, and then left without purchasing or without booking the hotel? Later on, you will then see the same product or the same hotel remarketed to you. With 96% of first-time viewers leaving before they've made a transaction, this could lead to a lot of wasted business. Dynamic remarketing, very much like remarketing, but this is specific to a product. So if you go onto a shop and you're looking at a specific product and then you leave without buying the product, this product will then be remarketed back to the client. 72% of online shoppers actually abandon their cart without making a purchase. I imagine that you will have seen this on a day-to-day basis while browsing the web. Using dynamic remarketing can increase conversions by up to 26%. YouTube display advertising exists within the greater Google Display Network. They let your ads appear alongside related videos or as pop-ups on YouTube. Smartphone users in Thailand has exceeded 25 million this year alone. When using mobile advertising, you should probably take a separate approach. It's very similar to paid advertising, where you can target specific keywords. You can also create ads to drive calls only, not just to your website. App downloads. It's exactly as it sounds. It works on a pay-per-install basis, so you will only pay if somebody installs your app. If you already have an app, you can use app engagement or in-game ads. Google Shopping. It's not actually available in Thailand at the moment. However, it will be in the future. This is where you have a product on your website, and when somebody searches for it on Google, the product is listed alongside its name, its price, and an image. When you click on the product, it will go directly to the landing page where that product is. How do you pay? This depends on your goals and objectives of any campaign. The most common used is cost per click. You pay when somebody clicks on your ad. For example, if the cost per click is $1 and somebody clicks on your ad 10 times, you'll pay $10. If somebody clicks on your ad 100 times, you'll pay $100. Where you are placed on the first page depends on your quality score and your maximum bid. After the seminar, as I mentioned, we'll be presenting you with a video which deeper explains the auction process. Cost per impression. An impression is every time your ad is shown to a customer. There are millions of eyes on the Google Display Network. There are another version which is text-only ads. These can have a special edge. With text-only ads, once you win a space, the entire space belongs to you. Cost per acquisition. This is where you can control your budget and control your return on investment even more. An acquisition could be a sale, a lead, or an inquiry, something that is most valuable to your business. For this to be most valuable, you need a lot of historical data and also a lot of conversions. With cost per acquisition, you only pay if it converts into business for you. So why Google AdWords? The top of Google is where every business wants to be and should be. Do you want to sell more? Do you want to generate more leads? Or do you simply want to be above your competition? The objectives of Google AdWords. It's fantastic for traffic and brand awareness, whether you're a new business or a well-established business. It's great for creating brand awareness, and it's also good for creating more relevant traffic coming to your website. To fully maximize your results, you will need to optimize your landing pages to increase your chance of conversions. Solely doing Google AdWords will not do this. Here is an example of the basic marketing funnel. This is vital for everyone to consider before diving headfirst into marketing. What do you want? What are your goals? What is your short and long-term plans? With all the Google tools that are available, which one should you use? For example, at the awareness stage, at the top, you will want to create brand awareness. Therefore, you should use search and display. At the evaluation stage, when you've got clients on your website, you will want to use remarketing to nurture your potential clients to convert into business. With the array of Google tools that are available, it is imperative to use a mixture of all of these. This is the key to success. I'd now like to invite you to watch our basic setup of a search campaign.
Hello and welcome to Move Ahead Media's basic AdWords search campaign setup. Here I am going to build a campaign from scratch. There are many videos available on YouTube by Google to help assist in this process. The purpose of this today is to show you how easy it is to build a campaign and then we will follow this up with some key points to watch for and common errors that can cost you thousands of dollars. So first of all, you will need a Gmail account to be able to set up an AdWords account. Please ensure that this Gmail is free from any other Google AdWords accounts. First of all, search Google for Google AdWords Setup. Once you've clicked on this, you will come to the welcome screen. Sign in with your email and also the website you wish to advertise on. Okay, so now we set up the account. These are the 4 things that we are going to do. So firstly, we will choose the budget. Secondly, we'll create your ads. Third, we will select your keywords. And lastly, we will enter your billing information and create a payment profile. So let's get started. Click on Create Your First Campaign. The first thing we need to do is name the campaign. You can have multiple campaigns for a website in any of the platforms that Google offers. Today we are going to create a search campaign only. The first thing we need to decide is to select either standard or all features. The standard campaign is a very basic setup which limits the amount of features you have to work with. Today we are going to work with the all features campaign. The first thing we need to decide is the type of campaign. Today for this demo we will be using a search network only campaign. Below this we have the opportunity to include search partners or not. Some example of search partners are Google Play and Google Maps. Now obviously we're going to keep this selected as Google Maps is a very valuable to local search. Below this we have device preferences. Please leave on all eligible devices. There is no option here to choose device selection, but in future and further into the campaign you may want to build a campaign specific to one device. Below this we have location settings. Here we're going to click on the Let Me Choose section. Type in your selected location. For this example we're going to use Bangkok and choose Bangkok from the drop down. Once you've chose this, you will see below there is the location options advanced. This is one of the most important areas, and this is one of the areas we will go through later in terms of potential waste of budget. In this you will see there are options. For this example we are going to choose people in my target location. The same applies for the excluded locations. If you wish to exclude any particular locations, please select people in my excluded locations. Languages is the next setting. You can choose languages which is based on people's user interface, so people's settings of their browsers. For this example we're going to choose English only. Next is bidding strategy. There are multiple choices in here which we are not going to go through today. For this example we are going to use the manual CPC, which is best used for startup campaigns. Below this we are required to input a default bid which will go across all keywords in the ad group that we are about to create. We can edit the bids on individual keywords at a later date. Select a budget for the month. The best way to select the budget for the month is to decide your overall budget for the campaign and divide this by 30.4. This is the best practice provided by Google to make sure that you do not go over your monthly allocated budget. Once budget is selected, we have the option to choose delivery method. Here we have 2 options, standard or accelerated. Standard means that this will spend your budget throughout the day in the best way that Google sees possible. Accelerated means that the budget will be spent as quickly as possible, and you may see some downtime of your ad. Standard, you will also see some downtime of your ad, but it will be spread throughout the day. Okay, moving on to ad extensions, arguably one of the most important parts of your ads. For the most effective campaigns, these extensions are critical to engage people and get them to click onto your ad. You can take a tour by hovering over the question mark to get more detailed insights on each ad extension. First of all, we're going to talk about location ad extensions. If the Gmail you are using is linked to a Google Maps or a Google My Business account, these will come up automatically. In this case, we are not linked, so this is what we have to do. Next to the Add Extensions, you will see the Add Now button. In here, you have the option to select your business account, or alternatively, you can request access to another Google My Business account. The next set of Add Extensions is site links. This is arguably one of the most important site links available. This allows instant access to inner pages of your website and will direct people to different parts of your website which they are ready to purchase from or make a commitment from. So first we need to click on the new site link. We're going to choose the landing page prior to this. We're going to input the link text which we would like to appear in the ad. We're going to type in the URL, the final URL in which people will land on. We also have 2 lines of description which we can use for text which will describe the landing page they will be redirected to. Once all of these fields are complete, you can click Save. This can be done as many times as possible and can be done at campaign level and also ad group level. My recommendations is to have at least 4. The maximum you can have is 4 with full descriptions. Next, moving on, we have call extensions. Again, arguably one of the most important ad extensions available. Call extensions is adding your phone number and a clickable phone number to your ads. Please note that adding your phone number in ad text is not allowed by Google's policies and will result in disapproved ads. So this is the best way to get your phone number into your ads. So click on New Call Extension, type in your phone number and save. Secondly, what I would like you to do is copy and edit this original number, which is predominantly going to appear on desktops. Once you've copy and edit, select the mobile version. This will allow additional features for mobile only ads. Once you have done this, save, and you should see 2 identical call numbers, one for mobile, one for desktop. The next ad extension is reviews. Now, if you have reviews from Google on G+ and a regular number of them, or alternatively on trusted websites, these can appear automatically as long as your Gmail is linked to these accounts. If you do not use these trusted websites, you can also manually input reviews from websites such as TripAdvisor in this example. So we need to go to the landing page on where the review is placed, copy the quote, add this to your ad extension, add the source of the website, also add the final URL of where the review is placed. Click Save. Should these reviews meet Google's policies, they will appear in your ads. This is a good way of grabbing people's attention and bringing weight to your ads and services. The next extension is call-out extensions. Examples of call-out extensions are things like free shipping, next day delivery, 24-hour customer service. So let's move on and make some call-out extensions. So select New Call-out. Type in the text. Ideally, this text should be visible on your landing page also. Once you've done your call-out extensions, you can click Save. There is no limit to the amount of call-out extensions you can have. And again, you can use these at ad group level or campaign level. Next is structured snippets. Both these and call-out extensions add an additional line to your ad, which is very valuable in terms of space and making your ad stand out. So here we're going to add new structured snippets. These are the categories that you need to choose from, which best suit your business. For this example, we're going to choose Service Catalog, which is the most commonly accepted structured snippet. So within our Service Catalog, we're going to use SEO services, web design, social media, CRO, website optimization. These are all listed in the structured snippet. Once we have these services listed, we can click Save, and you will see these appear in our structured snippets. So there we have pretty much every ad extension available in this setup. Some ad extensions do become available once we move forward into the campaign. One I would like to mention here, which we can't access now, is price extensions. These are very good are very strong in terms of your ad, and we can look at these further down the line as an example. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the advanced settings of this campaign. And in here we have a number of very important campaign settings which you may need to use. First of all, we have start and end date. So if you're not going to use this from ongoing from now or ongoing, and you would like to put an end date on here, here is where you would likely do it, in the start and end date. We also have ad scheduling. So obviously people may only want to show their ads during open hours if they're trying to drive calls. So choosing an ad scheduling will be very important to them. Ad delivery. Again, here this is a very, very big setting that most people would ignore if they don't know where to find it. So ad delivery, how your ads will optimize and rotate throughout the day. For this example, we are selecting optimize, prefer best performing ads. This allows Google to use ads created, and it will optimize and show the best performing ads based on the data it's receiving. Okay, so that's it. Once we have all these settings in place, we will now save and continue. And this will take us to our first ad group. Okay, so here we are. So the first thing is the keyword research, something you may have done or you may want to do before even opening up the AdWords campaign. One luxury of having the AdWords campaign open is the access to the Google Keyword Planner. We can access this using the same Gmail that we are building the campaign for. To find this, sign into the Google AdWords campaign, select Tools in the top corner, and then select Keyword Planner. Search new keyword. You can input your main keywords, or alternatively, if your landing page is content rich, you can use your landing page to get ideas. Once you have decided which way you're going to work with this, click on the Get Ideas button. Here you will see keyword ideas and also ad group ideas. We suggest, as a beginner, clicking on the ad group ideas. Here you will see that Google has done a lot of the legwork for you in grouping the terms into tightly knit ad groups. Each ad group has a tightly knit theme, and it also shows you how many keywords are in each ad group. You can also dive into the ad groups to see which keywords are more important and if there is any keywords that are not relevant to your service or business. As a rule of thumb, ideally you want key terms and ad groups to be between 5 and 20 per ad group. You can spend hours and hours looking in the keyword planner, getting ideas. Once you have finalized the ad groups that you wish to move forward with, add them to the right hand side, and as you can see, they will compile into a clipboard or Excel. You can download your campaign into an Excel. Once the Excel is compiled, we will be working off this manually. There is the option to upload this automatically into your AdWords account, but for the purpose of this demo, we are going to show you how to work manually from the keyword planner. So the first campaign that we're going to work on, and the first ad group that we have, is the AdWords company. So AdWords group number 1, AdWords company E. I will explain the difference between the E and B later, and this will become more apparent once the campaign starts to take shape. Headline 1, ad headline 2, and the description. Ad headline 1 and 2 are 30 characters, description is 80 characters, and the attractive URL, which doesn't have to be a real URL, can also be used and created to suit your ad campaign or your ad group. So in ad headline number 1, we are going to refer to the keywords on the Excel, and we're going to use keywords that we're actually targeting. In ad headline 2, we are going to search for content which on the landing page we are directing users to. This way, this keeps the ad relevant to the keywords and it keeps the ad relevant to the landing page. The ad text is one of the most important things you can use, as it attracts the viewers to click on your ad. It is the opportunity to sell your business on the first page of Google. It also is critical that you keep your ads relevant to your services, to the user's search query, and also to your landing page. This, in essence, driving down your CPCs and increasing your overall ad score. Again, reiterating the fact that using content from your landing page is very important in terms of driving down your ad score. One thing that we often get questioned on as advertisers, as an agency, is the use of capitalization. So we like to use capitalization on most of the words, even though it's not grammatically correct. It is an option in Google's systems, and it's also classed as good practice in terms of writing the ad text. So this is something that at Move Ahead Media we generally do, and we often get questioned from our clients. But it is recognised by Google as good practice, and you don't get penalised for it in terms of grammatically correct. Okay, so now we have our first ad. We're going to move on to the keywords. And it actually offers you here some predefined ad groups, which it's picked up from the URL that you've implemented already. But we have already done this work through the keyword planner. So I'm going to use the Excel that we've already created, and I'm going to copy and paste the keywords we've selected for Google AdWords Company Exact Ad Group. So here I'm going to copy and paste these into the ad group. And below here you can see an estimate for traffic and also bids. So if you feel that this estimate is not enough, you can add keywords, or you can up the bids to make sure that you're appearing a little bit more. Or you can alternatively up your budget, which will make you reach more people. In this example, I feel that there's not enough reach, so I'm going to add plural terms, as not forgetting we are only targeting exact keywords here, so there is absolutely no room for error or differentiation when people are searching for these keywords. Okay, so moving on. The basics are in place for the campaign, and I'm going to set up the billing account. The first question we get asked is the country of the billing, so Thailand in this case is the selection. Second of all, we have the account type, which this is a business account. Then we have the name and address. It's very important that you get these correct, as we have had problems in the past in terms of getting information to Google if the account gets flagged for billing. So make sure that you have access to whoever's name and address that you are going to put on this. So how do you pay? This is obviously a big one. So we have two options. We have automatic. Automatic is post-paid paying when you hit a threshold, and the longer you advertise with Google, the more trusted your relationship will become, and the higher the thresholds will become, depending on the amount of money you spend with them each month. Manual is prepaid, so the campaign stops when the money is exhausted. We recommend in this case, and in most cases, that we work on an automatic post-paid system. Obviously now the next step is to add the payment method and the card details. Once these are all in place, we will have to agree to the T&Cs and submit. Once submitted, our billing profile is created. And here you can see the settings, and this is how your billing profile will look, and this is where you need to come to download invoices and things like that. Okay, so back to the campaigns. The campaign is now created, and this dashboard allows you to see all aspects of the campaign that we initially set up a moment ago. Everything we've put in place can be edited from this dashboard and the settings tab. Eventually you'll find that once you understand the reasons for each element, creating campaigns is easier and quicker from this dashboard. Okay, so back to the initial keywords that we set for AdWords Company and the exact ad group that we created. One thing that we haven't done, and that this could be an error that a lot of people do when setting up the campaigns, is we haven't added any match types to these keywords. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the keywords tab, and here we have the keywords that are at the broadest possible setting. So there's no match modifiers on there, so that means there's no phrase, there's no brackets, there's no plus. which instructs Google how broad or how targeted you want to be with these keywords. So what we're going to do is we're going to select all the keywords and click on the Edit button and go to the Change Match Types options. So in here we currently have these keywords set at broad and we want to change them to exact. So select these two settings and preview to make sure that these are the changes that are going to be made. Once you're happy with the changes that are going to be made, make the changes. Click Make Changes. Okay, so now we have the correct exact matches for this ad group. One thing we also have is we only have one ad for each ad group, for this ad group. So now we need to create a second and third ad for this ad group. So let's click on the Ads tab. So, because we chose the setting of choose the best performing ads, we need to give Google options to choose from. So in this ad group, we're going to have 3 different ads for Google to optimize towards. Select the ad that we're currently using, and again, use the copy and edit, which we used for the mobile ad extension earlier. Here are the existing details that we have from the original ad. Let's go ahead and change headline 1, headline 2. Leave the URL and change the description so we have a completely new ad to work with in this ad group. Once we've changed all of these elements, go ahead and save the ad. The benefit of copy and edit ensures that we don't duplicate any elements of headline 1 or 2 or description. In ad number 3, we're going to use a different feature. In headline 1, if you use a brace bracket or the squiggly bracket in my terminology, it opens up a choice of functions. In this example, I'm going to use the keyword insertion function. This allows us to create a headline with any of the keywords in our list. If a user was to search using one of our keywords, this would automatically jump into our ad text. If the keywords do not match the query, what will happen is the keyword insertion, in this case use AdWords company Bangkok, this will be a fixed headline. So this is a very good way of matching your searches, the user's query with the ad text, making sure that the ad is the most relevant form possible to the user searching. Okay, once complete, we'll save this ad, and this will give us 3 ads for the ad group we've created, with each ad having completely different text. And there we have it. We have one ad group complete. Now we need to move on and move into the broad version of this ad group. So the previous ad group we have is solely for exact match keywords. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create an ad group for the same keywords but the broad versions of the keywords. The quickest and simplest way to do this is to copy the shell of the exact match ad group. So to do this, we need to go back to the Campaigns tab, and here we will see all the ad groups. Once you see the ad group, which in this case is AdWords Company Exact, I want you to click and select the ad group. We can simply copy and paste this ad group, and it will copy the shell and duplicate it into our campaigns. Go ahead and click paste. In the name, we need to change the E to brackets B to represent the broad campaign, and remove the hashtag number 2. This leaving us with the same ad group for AdWords Company, one which is broad, one which is exact. Then we're going to jump into the broad campaign, and we're going to edit the keywords to make them phrase match. So currently they are all brackets, square brackets, representing exact match. Select the keywords, select all keywords, click edit, and again change match types. Here we're going to change from exact to phrase match and save. Once saved, we have a list of phrase keywords indicated by speech marks. This means that these keywords will have to be in this order, but can have additional keywords either in front of the phrase or on top of the phrase, at the back end of the phrase. Another broad setting that we would like to use in this example, and in most cases, is broad match modifiers indicated by a plus. These will have to be inserted manually. You can use 2, 3, 4 keyword phrases for this, and in this example we're going to use AdWords company Bangkok. So here we have plus AdWords plus company plus Bangkok. An example of a keyword that could be searched for in this case would be the best company for AdWords in Bangkok. So what these pluses mean is they mean that each keyword has to be in the phrase, but in any order. Okay, so there we have it. We pretty much have 2 ad groups for one theme, which is AdWords company, and we have both exact and broad versions of the keyword. What we're going to do now is we're going to go back to the Excel and start again using the exact same system for a new theme. Okay, so now there we have 3 different themes with 3 groups, both broad and exact. And we're pretty much ready to go ahead and activate the campaign.
Okay, thank you. Danny is going to now run through some of the common problems and errors that we see in campaigns. Danny, over to you.
Hello everyone, and my name's Daniel, and I'm the head of the AdWords team here at Move Ahead Media. And in this next part, as Martin's already said, we're going to go through 8 common errors which we often see when auditing campaigns that we get given. So some of these errors that we have, basically if we fix them, they will assist improving your ad score. They'll assist in reducing your CPC or your CPN, depending on what you're bidding on. They'll reduce irrelevant clicks, and they'll also improve your CTRs, which all in turn will improve your conversion rates. So the first one, which we kind of went over in the video, and the most common and the easiest mistake to make, is the location settings. So by default, we have people searching for, and people who've shown an interest in my target location. This meaning that anyone who may have searched for anything related to my location will automatically jump into my audience. So for example, I'm in the UK, I'm searching for hotels in Bangkok. Advertiser X is advertising cosmetic surgery in Bangkok. All of a sudden, I'm now available in the audience for cosmetic ads because I've searched for something in Bangkok. So as you can imagine, me searching in the UK, appearing for ads in Bangkok is not going to be relevant for my business. So we often see a lot of spend going to waste with the default setting. So what we encourage you to do is make sure that you select this drop down in blue, which then goes down to people in my target location to make sure you're only targeting the most relevant people to your business. The next one we see, and is also a very misleading part of the setup, is the combination of a search network with display select. Search network with display select Google promotes this as the best opportunity to reach the most customers. We strongly recommend not selecting this. The reason why is we have the ability to separate search campaigns and display campaigns out. This giving you much more control over budgets that are targeting people basically in two different stages of the buying process. Search is targeting people with some sort of intent. Display is targeting people who basically you're at the brand awareness stage or possibly at the remarketing stage. Treating these with the same budget and optimization process is not good practice. Separating the two out will give you greater control over your budget, and it will also give you a cleaner structure for analysis and optimization moving forward. Number 3, we look at match modifiers, which we went over quite a bit in the video. But basically, match modifiers, in short, they're instructions that advertisers give to Google to tell Google how they want their keywords to appear. As you saw from the video, we use exact match, we use broad, and we use phrase match. Avoid using keywords without any match modifiers. This is where a lot of people go wrong. So in this example, we have an example of AdWords company without any match modifiers. So the type of keywords that you may appear for if you just use AdWords company with no modifiers, you could appear for what is AdWords. You could also appear for something like golf company. The reason this is Google takes singular parts of the keywords and uses them to gauge what's relevant. Obviously, if you can use match modifiers, you eliminate the chance of this kind of irrelevant clicks appearing. Following on from match modifiers, we also have the ability to use negative keywords. So this is one way of combating Google's system and the use of broad keywords, basically, which we saw in the example before. Here's an example of an audit we did recently of a removalist company in Sydney. And the keyword he had set up was removals Sydney. And as you can see from the list of keywords from the search term report, he's appearing for things like tattoo removal, laser hair removal, a long list here of keywords that are completely irrelevant to his business. And as you can see from the total at the bottom, this resulted in a wasted spend of almost $2,000, the equivalent of 45,000 baht. It is important to regularly check your search term report and continually maintain your negative keyword list to avoid keywords coming up that are irrelevant that you may not have thought about at the beginning. Okay, so number 4, we've got ad rotation, something again we touched on in the video. So it's a very common area that we see a lot of all the time. People create ad groups and they only give Google one ad. As you saw from the video, we have multiple options to choose from in terms of ad rotation. In the video, we chose to let Google optimize based on the best performing ads. Obviously, if you only have one ad, how can Google optimize? So we strongly recommend, as a rule of thumb, when you're building ad groups, to have 3 ads per ad group. Okay, the next one. We commonly see people creating a full campaign and only pointing the ads to one URL, which is usually the home page. So why is using the home page going to cause you problems? I think the question I would ask anyone who's using the home page is it the most relevant? Is it the most relevant page that you have for your keywords? Surely your inner pages or your product pages are more relevant to the keywords that you're targeting. Obviously, if they are more relevant, the inner pages, the decrease in relevancy will mean a decrease in CPC and an increase in ad score, which effectively makes your budget go a lot further. Okay, so here we have ad extensions, and we discussed this again in the video, and a lot of beginners do not realize the importance and the power of ad extensions. Ad extensions impact your quality score, and they impact the appearance that your business has on the first page of Google. They give a greater user experience, they're visually more impressive, and if you have the right number of ad extensions, you can dominate the first page of Google. As you can see here on the mobile device, this is one of our clients in Australia. They have multiple ad extensions. They have the call extension, they have price extensions, and you can pretty much see it dominates the full first page of a mobile device. Okay, and the last one we have here is conversion tracking, something we didn't do on the video, but it's very, very, very important. So here we have 3 examples of basic conversion setup. So we have calls from ads. So what this is somebody actually seeing your ad, not clicking on your website, but calling through from the ad itself. We can track this by setting up conversions with Google. The other one is clicks to call. So a click to call is somebody clicking on the mobile number on your site, on your mobile site, or alternatively, we can track it through tracking software which puts a number physically on your desktop site. And lastly, we have thank you pages. So a lot of websites have obviously e-commerce, you go through to a confirmation page, or if you're a service-based website, then we'll put a thank you page on the back of your contact form. And this is a way to track success of your ads. So why is it so important? I mean, if you don't have conversions set up, then what are you really learning from the money that you're spending? No tracking means you receive less data. Obviously, less data means less room for optimization. The less optimization you do means more chance of you're going to waste your money. Okay, so we're going to move on now to the Q&A of the predefined questions that we were given before. I'll hand over to Martin.
Thank you. We, on the registration, we asked if you had any questions and to send in or submit any questions that you may have in general. And we've taken those questions, we had quite a number of questions submitted, and we've grouped them where they are very similar and have a similar answer. And what I'm going to do is run through these groups of questions with you that will help you all of you get different answers from different people, and Danny will be helping me give you the responses that you're looking for, I hope. The first set of questions I've called new starter questions. These are questions that are around whether or not, what do I do as a newbie, what should I be doing to get my AdWords campaign going. And one of the first bits here is whether or not to go for expensive or cheaper keywords. So Danny, when somebody's starting a campaign, what should they invest in, would you suggest?
Well, to start with, the keywords that are expensive, the reason they're expensive is they either provide a high-value customer or they convert well. The issue for a newbie investing straight into expensive keywords is the variable of your website. So if your website doesn't convert, whether it be cheap or expensive keywords, you need to understand whether your website converts. So my suggestion would be to do a mix and not go jumping 2 feet in with expensive keywords, because if you do and it doesn't convert, you're going to end up wasting a lot of money on expensive keywords without getting any data to understand where your website's going wrong.
Thank you. Another area here, obviously, as a newbie, what if you're a newbie company and an absolute startup company, you've got no exposure whatsoever? How can AdWords work for you in that situation?
Well, obviously, one of the luxuries of AdWords, which you don't get with organic and SEO, is it provides you instant traffic. So it gives you instant access to page 1 of Google. So that's obviously a benefit to a lot of new companies. I mean, if you revert back to the funnel, which Tom went through earlier, you can pretty much use any tool with Google to capture people depending on where they are. So if you already know these people, they're familiar with the business, you can use remarketing. If you want to get brand awareness, you use the display network.
Great. Okay, good. Next set of questions were what we've classed as like optimization questions. And these are quite broad, these 4 questions on here, but they're looking at overall how to make the most out of your campaigns. Just before we carry on this, I want to let you know we will be around after this Q&A for you to ask specific questions individually. And a lot of these, it does depend so much on your business. But in general, Danny, do you have a catch-all answer for general optimization?
Yeah, I think we've already said it a few times in the video, and the errors. I mean, if there's one word I could use to sort of talk about optimization, it would be relevancy. So making sure that everything is relevant to each other. So relevancy is like a circle in AdWords. You've got your ads that need to be relevant to your keywords. Your keywords need to be relevant to your landing page. Your landing page needs to be relevant to your ads. So it's all a big circle of relevancy. I mean, if you follow this, it will pretty much address all the questions here on. So it will help you increase your quality score. It will assist you in bidding for the best keywords. It will increase your conversion rates. And obviously it will definitely make you get more out of your budget.
Okay, good. Talking of optimization, moving on to landing pages. If you look, these are mainly about how do I optimize my landing page. I've put the last question, what is the best AdWords strategy to get people to buy from you? I put this into here because you need to understand it's your landing page that converts. The ads don't convert into sales for you, it's your landing page. And that's where you get people to buy from you, is where they end up once they've clicked on your ads. Producing a landing page, if you're brand new and have no data on how people use your site, we would advise you to start with 1 or 2 landing pages and track the data on how people visit that page and what they do on that page before you start creating multiple landing pages so that you can actually improve them based on real facts and data and visits that people have. Looking at this first question though, how does a landing page impact click-through rate? Danny, what would you say in terms of how that impacts?
I mean, yeah, it doesn't directly. Your landing page doesn't directly, affect it because your ad is what controls your click-through rate. But obviously, if we go back to the circle of relevance and quality score, your landing page affects your quality score, which affects the appearance of your ad. So obviously, there is some connection to how your landing page is to how your ad will appear.
Okay, good. These questions here, we're going to answer all these individually. I couldn't really group them together. So going through them one at a time, either myself or Danny will answer these. First one, are keywords translated by Google? The short answer is no. Google doesn't translate keywords for you. And please do not rely on Google Translate to actually give you the keywords to target. Especially comparing European languages with Asian languages, the translation is so far away from the reality. If you are targeting a different language, a number of our clients are, that we have, looking at Korea and China and Malaysia for attracting people to come to Thailand, you need to find someone who's a native speaker in that language and ask them, how would you search for these key terms? What is the expressions you would use? And then put those in to your AdWords campaign. The second one is how to define the proper conversion setup. Danny, what is it you use to determine conversions in a campaign and what to track?
Well, obviously, we sit down with a client and determine what's valuable to them. But basically, anything that's valuable to you as a business, i.e. clicks to calls that we went through earlier, e-commerce value, obviously if you are an e-commerce site, thank you pages, anything like that that we went through in the last common error. And obviously you work back from there. So basically any page views that seem to be leading to, conversions that we've set up, you want to track them and also add to carts. You want to make sure that that's a conversion, so that if people are jumping out of the cart, you want to be able to go back to them and see what metrics are driving those add to carts.
Okay, good. Third question, how to use AdWords for remarketing. If you refer back to the overview that Tom gave you, remarketing is a key Google service, and you should include it in any digital marketing campaign you're doing, be it SEO, AdWords, social media. It doesn't matter. If you've got an online presence, you need to have remarketing activated. Customers do research nowadays before making decisions. It's far easier for them to do that. You need remarketing to stay in front of the people that have visited your business, so that you can be sure to capture them and that they haven't gone to a competitor. Number 4, targeting competitors with their keywords. Now, it's an interesting one, number 4, because this is something that is possible in AdWords, but isn't with SEO. However, it's not just that easy. I mean, what's your approach, Danny, to specifically targeting competitors and their keywords?
The issue I have with competitor campaigns is it's pretty much impossible to get a high quality score. So you've got to be willing to pay over the odds for the clicks on competitor targeting. The way I would approach competitor targeting is to use what marketing's just been through and use remarketing. So capture competitor traffic when they're in the second stage, when they're looking for the service for the second time.
Okay, so just to clarify on that, are you saying that you use remarketing, you take the people from your website and then what keywords would you use? Can you give us an example on it?
Yeah, so for example, if I was selling sports shoes, I know that someone's been to my website because I've got my tracking software on there. When they're going and looking for, say, Nike or Adidas for the second time around, so they're still in the shopping process, but I know they have a connection with me as a business, I target competitors such as Nike, Adidas, Reebok, because I know they're still looking for sports shoes and they haven't purchased from me. So we can set that up as a remarketing setup.
So what you mean is, in the remarketing setup, you take that group of people and then the keywords are actually the competitor keywords in that group. Yeah. Okay, so I hope that's clear to people. So when they're searching for that keyword, you come up as an ad at that point. All right, good. Software that can automatically advise on the best ROI keywords. As far as I know, there isn't any, and if there was, somebody I think would be very wealthy who could produce it. Google AdWords keyword tool and the planner that was used in the video to determine the keywords is quite a good indicator. It shows you what the competition is for a keyword, and it also gives you an indicator of what you should bid for a keyword. So generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, the more expensive a keyword and the more competitive it is, means it generally will give you a good ROI, because you're taking the data from people that have already used those keywords and they know what works. But overall, I mean, Danny, do you know of any software that actually helps on it?
No, and as you said, Martin, if there was one, someone would be a very rich man. I guess the reason there isn't is there's too many variables to talk about ROI. So whether it be the ad text that you've written, whether it be the speed of your website, whether it be the conversions of the website, there's too many variables on individual businesses to give a prediction of ROI on keywords.
Okay, good. All right. We've got a group of questions here that we've put together as strategy. They're very, very broad, these questions, and individually you could spend quite a bit of time trying to answer all of them. The main thing about strategy is that you really need to answer these questions based on an individual business's needs and objectives. And that's why I'm saying we will be around to have a little bit more of a chat with after these questions for people. But one question on this list here, I do want to get you and Danny to look at, is the third one here. What new improvements, or what's the best improvement Google's made in the last year or so to help businesses and help performance, in your opinion?
Based on the campaigns that we manage at Move Ahead Media, we've had some very good success with an extension that came out this year, and that's price extensions. So including the price of your products and services in your ad. Unfortunately, it's not available in Thai baht at the minute. So if you're running a local business for local people, then you wouldn't be able to use Thai baht. Now, we have got clients in the hospitality and travel industry where we've used USD in Thailand, some of the hotels that we have, and we've seen great results with click-through rates and obviously people going on to purchase from the price extension.
Sorry, Danny, just to interrupt. Where does the price extension go on the ad?
So it's one of the extensions below. On a mobile, you may have, depending on how many price extensions you have a swiping option to flick through. So if you've got a product-based site, you could scroll through the price extensions. On a desktop, they can either be, again, they can be a number that are horizontal, or they may be a small drop-down with just text.
Okay. Any other improvements you've seen recently?
This year, Google, obviously, they give more in terms of ad text, so they increased the amount of characters for your ads. So if you're already running ad campaigns and you haven't updated your ads, I would strongly recommend going back through your campaigns and updating them to the latest format.
Okay. So that's more words.
Yeah, so now it's 30, 30, 80. Previously it was 25, 25, 70, I believe.
Okay. Does that make the ad bigger?
Yeah, so obviously
Okay.
they're giving more space to the advertisers in terms of, instead of the organic traffic.
Right. If you don't use the characters, does it literally shrink the size of your ad?
Yeah, I would always recommend trying to fulfill and maximize the characters that they offer.
Okay, cool. All right. Just going to move on to comparison questions. These 3 questions are comparing AdWords with other services. I'm going to address the bottom 2 first, because I know more about SEO. And this is basically, what's the difference between AdWords and SEO, and why do you need AdWords when there's SEO? Just in case you're not aware, SEO is the search engine optimization to appear in the organic listings of Google. The main difference between the two is that in AdWords, you pay for the visits to your website. With SEO, you don't. If you're in the organic listing, it doesn't cost you to get a visitor individually. One difference, though, is AdWords will get you to the top of the page of Google instantly. And also that AdWords covers a very wide range of services that SEO doesn't, such as remarketing, such as the display network, or video marketing as well. In reality, any good digital marketing campaign, you need to be using all forms of digital marketing. You need to be using AdWords, you need to be using SEO, and you need to be using social media. But the question here at the top is very specific to Thailand. Thailand's like #1 in the world for the number of people that use social media, and in particular Facebook, in terms of purchase decisions and that. So, Danny, what are your thoughts on how, I mean, you deal with this on a daily basis, looking at the difference between AdWords and Facebook and combining them. How do you deal with that, or how do you see it?
Obviously, the question says, why would you use Google when people use Facebook? I mean, 81% of people and shoppers research before they make a decision on purchase. And the majority of them do that through Google. So I would say, I think Martin just mentioned it a moment ago, you should really have a mixture of both in your marketing strategy. There's definitely room for both in any business's marketing strategy.
Okay, good. Okay, these are the last few questions that were preset or sent in to us. And these ones are more about questions directly to Move Ahead Media. So I'm just going to run through these quickly with you. After the learning of the basic of Google AdWords, do we have additional training? As Tony said right at the beginning, we're looking to do these regular seminars where they're educational based, they're giving you knowledge back. So yes, we are looking to, we'll be doing another basic seminar, then we're looking to upgrade it to a more advanced seminar, as well as addressing other aspects of digital marketing. Do we offer services for marketing through Google? Yep, we manage AdWords campaigns and provide SEO services on Google. We also do anything to do with online marketing, including social media. My favorite question, how to find the best name for my pizza project. Not sure if you're here in the audience or not. I'm not sure if it was referring to a campaign as a pizza project or a new business idea. I'm going to address it as a business idea. And just what I'd like to say to people is, obviously we deal with a lot of companies and a lot of startups as well. And when you're determining a name for a new business, I can't emphasize this enough, that before you set your heart on it and get all your branding done, you really need to search that name within Google and see what competition you're up against. Not just in your own country, but in other countries with similar names as well. And if you want to build a brand, you need to build a unique brand, a unique name. And that will give you longevity in your business and your marketing. Last one, how do I use digital campaigns to market an event? Well, this is an event, and we use AdWords and we use Facebook to market it. This is how you market a digitally market an event. You get it out there on social media, you get it out there on AdWords, and you guys all came. Thank you very much for coming. It was very nice of you. So that's how you do it. This was the last of our questions that were predetermined. As I said, we are going to be here, and we've got a few more things to go through. But just before I entice you with your special gifts, are there any questions that anybody has got pressing right now that you would like to address for everyone else to hear? If you just raise your hand, I'll ask you. No? Cool. That's no problem. The guys in the red shirts are Move Ahead Media people. The guy in the white shirt is the head of the team, so he can answer anything you have. There's still food around, and there's still teas and coffees. We've got the room for another 30 minutes or 40 minutes or so, so do feel free to stay, mingle, and have a chat with us directly. We did offer you some free gifts. One of them is, can you hold it up, Danny? This is a memory business card. It's got a drive on it. On there is the video of how to create a basic campaign, so you can take that with you. I'm going to get the guys to hand it around. Root, could you grab the bag off Tony and start giving one out? If you've got two screens on your computer, you can watch it on one screen and build your campaign on the other screen. However, that's, the purpose is to help you learn how to develop your own marketing and how to develop your own campaigns. But what we will also do for you is, if you have an existing AdWords account, is if you let one of the guys know on the tables what your AdWords account number is, we will give you a free review of it. We will go through it, review it, and show you ways to improve it, and where you can benefit more from understanding it. The second thing we'll do is, if you don't have an AdWords account and you're completely new to it, if you, again, talk to us, the guys here, give us we need a Gmail account. If you don't have one, create one and send it to us. And we will create an AdWords account for you. You tell us what you're looking for, and we will create your first campaign, like Danny did in the video. He will create that campaign for you, so you then have the video and you have a campaign you can clone or use as a reference point to help develop your own. And as Google partners, if you are a brand new campaign, because we're bringing you on to Google, we can actually get from Google a 1,500 baht ad spend for your very first campaign as well, from Google free of charge. So that will help get you going and get your first few clicks as well. So that's what we're offering you for a little extra today. I'd like to thank you all very much for coming. Appreciate it. It's our very first one. I think we're quite happy how it went. I don't know. Are you? Thank you very much.